Hello, my name is Eric and I'm doing another one of my photography vlogs called One Body, One Lens, One Roll, One Day. I am here at York Township Park, the outskirts of Medina. Never been here before. There's some jungle gym area, a little picnic area, little pond. I guess you can go fishing at the pond. I think I just saw something splash up, but it is a catch and release, so if you come fishing, you know, got to release it back. Cool pond, nice sky. There's some rain coming in, so I figured I'd get an episode in before the rain came in. And today's camera is Minolta Maxim 7 XI. This was one of their higher end XI series. There was a 3, a 5, 7, and then I think there was a 9. So this was the upper middle body. Now, the lens is the 80 to 200. I believe that's standard f4 5.6, 4.55.6. It is also an XI series, and basically what the XI bodies could do with the XI lenses, it had a power zoom. So instead of twisting the barrel of the lens to zoom or twisting the barrel to focus, you kind of push-pull the upper section, and then you can kind of just twist it left and twist it right, and it would zoom, or it would focus for you pretty quickly. Now, if you just moved it a little bit, it would zoom slow. If you moved it all the way, it would zoom fast. I was never really a big fan of the power zooms just because of the fact it would move faster than I would want it to do. So I like the manual zooms, but you know, to each their own preference. These cameras also had early scene modes in some of these cameras where now you can just kind of pick it. Actually had a little, almost looked like an SD memory card, but it's not an SD memory card. And you would put it in this little slot in the little slide door, and you'd have a portrait card or a landscape card or a macro card. And then that would give the camera the preferences to shoot that subject matter. Inside the door is also flash controls, motor drive controls, and film speed override. Today's film is some Konica Centuria 400. I've shot this stuff before. I know it has not been kept well. I've been pulling it back 2 stops so far, so shooting at 100, I'm actually going to pull it back even further. I'm going to try shooting it at ISO 50, so it's 3 stops. Just because I've seen the base and it does okay at 2 stops, but I'm going to see what it looks like at 3 stops. Overexposed, just because I know this stuff was not kept well. The other thing about XI bodies is that underneath the viewfinder there's a sensor mechanism, and if you hold your eye up to it, it actually starts pre-focusing even before you're ready to go. So if you hold up, it's boom, it's kind of going live on you, you know, before you even kind of get it ready. Of course, it's all kind of distance stuff, so it's not going to do much anyway. Let me get that a little closer, and there you go. It's following along. It was just trying to get you ready for the shot before you actually were taking the picture, so it was like focused and ready by the time you had it up to your eye. It sometimes worked, but every now and then, if it holds too close to your body, you might hear it, you know, move a little bit as it tries to focus. All right, so I'm going to load it up and be right back. All right, so as I'm shooting this camera, I realize that I only have program mode. The cards that I mentioned would have an aperture priority or a full manual or a shutter priority. Since I don't have those cards, I am only shooting in program mode. So that's a little catch to this guy. And in program mode, I don't really have flash control. So the auto flash is popping up and is being shot. If I shoot the distance stuff, it's pretty much ineffective, but I did some close-ups, or as best I could, some shots of some flowers over there, and the flash went up and fired, and hopefully they come out, and we'll see. So limitations of this camera if you don't have the little card inserts, and I've also noticed on the inside, as you zoom, it kind of gives you, actually not the zoom, it's more, kind of tells you that there's a scale inside that kind of tells you that pops up every now and then where you're at. Are you kind of, is it focusing long or is it focusing close? You know, it is what it is. Not the most user-friendly of autofocus cameras because you don't have the controls that I like to do, typically manual or aperture priority. But if you found the card slots, you could get that stuff back. All right, I'm gonna go walk around, get some shots. Be right back. Okay, looks like it let me get to 14 shots on a roll of 12, which is rather uncommon. Sometimes you get your one extra. So, you know, if hit 12, cool, I took the shot. Hit 13, great, little bonus there. But it did let me get a 14th, so we'll see what happens. Maybe it's a half frame or something like that. It is starting to sprinkle a little bit just as I finished up. So that's cool there. This camera does wind normally and then rewinds when you're done and when it's done. And a lot of these automatic auto load and rewind cameras, if you put your roll of film in and turn that off there, and you close the door and either a 0 blinks at you or an E blinks at you on the LED up on top where the film counter would be. Typically it's an indicator of two things. One, you maybe didn't give enough film or maybe you gave it too much film. Put the leader, and in most cases there's a little orange tab or orange red marker right there. Make sure the leader's there. If you give it too much, it's too much slack, you can't pull it in. If it's not enough, the tractor didn't grab it, so make sure it's kind of close to that little red or orange marker, and then reload it. Should load right up. The other thing is that if you don't remember, if you take your camera and you just see that E message, but yet on through the window, you've got a roll of film there. It may have just rewound the roll of film. It's you were done with it and you just forgot to take it out. If you want to be safe, take it to a dark room underneath a dark blanket, whatever. Pop it open, see how the film's sitting. It just could be that the film's rewound and you never took it out and saying, hey, take me out. Otherwise, photos will be posted at the end. If you like them, feel free to give them a thumbs up. Feel free to share if you learned something new. If you've been to this park before, it's my first time here. Just mostly took shots of the pond. There were some people playing at the playground, so I let them play. Comment on your use of either expired film or even the Konica Centuria type stuff. Like I said, I bought this as a batch on eBay, tested it, found out the base was kind of, was not kept well. Shot a couple rolls at ISO 100s, which was a 2-stop overexposure or a 2-stop pull. This one I shot at ISO 50s, a 3-stop pull. The negatives at the 2-stop were okay. I just want to see if this helps out a little bit more. Again, today's camera was a Minolta Maxim 7 XI with the 80 to 200 XI lens, so it did have a power zoom and power focus. There was only about 3 or 4 of these lenses. I was never a big fan just because of the fact that it tended to zoom farther than I wanted, or the focus kind of moved faster than I wanted when I'm trying to do it that way. But you may say, this is cool, you like this, is maybe a little bit more responsive for you. All right, new episodes try to come out every Friday and every Saturday. Sometimes some bonus episodes get in there if I'm just camera maintenance episode or I'm baselining a roll of film. Otherwise, I'll see you next episode.